There is no club football at the moment. The guys that are remaining in La Continasa or in the other training center, well, we can count them on the fingers of one hand. And that's why we are speaking, of course, about Calcio Mercato, contract extension, three big names, Magic Mike. We speak about Kenan Yildiz, contract extension, and then, of course, about Weston McKENNIE and much more in today's video. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back to the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm not asking you a maximum of like, I'm not asking you to subscribe, of course you can do if you want, but today I'm counting on you before speak about the three names and going into detail about what is happening in the Bianconero world. Well, I'm asking you a last favor. Tomorrow is my birthday, and if you want to go with a gift for Beppe, well, it costs you absolutely zero. You know that a few weeks ago we have been nominated with the channel, with the community, as Best Podcast International. Well, tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, on Sunday, the votes are closing. So I'm asking you for a last effort to go on their website. The link will be into the description. You don't have to fill in all the categories, so it takes you really a few seconds to go on the vote page, choosing Best International Podcast and clicking GJustjuve if you believe, of course, that the channel deserves it, because it will be beautiful not only to finish in the last 15 but to climb that ranking, and who knows, maybe to dream. So I'm asking you a few seconds of your precious time. It's already a gift that you are giving me to click on the video, but if you can go that extra mile, it will be extremely beautiful. Now, that being said, if you want, we can start with the video, because in this morning Gazzetta dello Sport, well, they speak about Mercato. I will not go towards the words of Ibrahimovic, but I want to go towards what is on the right side of the page, Maignan, Magic Mike. There is Juventus is looking for a goalkeeper. Before starting to think what is the potential link between Juve and Maignan, well, let's put things into context. He's a goalkeeper that at the end of this year, the contract will be over. He will be a free transfer for the 30-year-old goalkeeper from France and from Milan, and he has at the moment no intention to continue, no intention to renew with Milan. Looks like exactly the same story as with Donnarumma. The number one of France is looking around, and I was really curious to read that article to understand why, because there is a new course at Milan with the new coach, with the new sporting director, with new ambitions, like, for example, Ibrahimovic is saying, Milan, I will help you to go back to victory. I will help you to win like I did in that first Scudetto at Milan with Max Allegri when he was a player, when Max was a coach. So what more ambitious can he have to go and win the Scudetto, especially if he's already the captain of the Rossoneri? Well, they don't really give us an answer in Gazzetta. They just tell us he is looking for new stimuli, for new motivations, for a new boost. Can that be Juve? Question mark. Well, if we really want to be totally transparent and honest, he had an agreement with Chelsea in last summer. Speaking with some Chelsea fans, it's true that they are always asking me my opinion about Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper that they have at the moment, because they are not really trusting him. Chelsea is looking for a goalkeeper. They had an agreement with the player wanted to go already, but Milan stopped everything. They didn't find an agreement, where Chelsea said, you know what, calma, tranquilli, we have time, we just won the Club World Cup, you know what, if they don't want to let you go, we will go back on you, and this time it will be much easier. We will go back on you in the summer. So, is he saying, no, I don't want to discuss with Milan because I already have an agreement with Chelsea? That's what I am personally feeling. So, the name of Juve on Gazzetta dello Sport on Magic Maignan, it's a bit a stretch to me. It's a bit like that page filler during Calcio Mercato is really far away. We are in that second international break. We had nothing to speak about. So let's put that. On the other side, it's true that I can understand that a club like Juve with Damian Comolli, well, they are smelling opportunities. They are trying to anticipate before he goes on the first pages of the Italian journals. Well, they need to already be aware of the situation, going and trying their chances. Okay, Chelsea is on you. Chelsea have a kind of agreement on you, like Bayern is also interested in you. But if we don't try, well, we'll never have a positive answer. What is Juve looking for, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport, is leadership, and it is charisma. Something that a lot of fans are are at today blaming Michele Di Gregorio for. And that's why, of course, charisma and leadership, we're speaking about the captain of Milan, well, Maignan, 30 years old with a lot of experience behind the back, of course he has. Now, I will tell you, is this the priority for me? No, this is absolutely not the priority for you. I think that we all agree midfield, right, wing back, or a right back if we go towards a four-man defense, or a left back. These are the priorities of Juve. Then I tell you, the salary of Mike is not that huge. The salary of Di Gregorio is not that huge. We went for Di Gregorio for 20 million euro last summer when he came from Monza. I believe that if after 2 years of Juve, he could potentially be sold to a Premier League club where there are still interest, not Chelsea, but other clubs, well, you can cash in. If you go with Maignan, you win in charisma. But I must say that Maignan is not convincing me at 100%. First of all, because if you go towards the injury list, it's a player with a big, huge record of injuries. Uno. Due. If you're looking at leadership, and it's a captain that in the last few years, more than improving and becoming better, is actually decreasing, according to me, in terms of performances and also in terms of leadership, one that doesn't have the motivation as captain of Milan to continue in a new course or to start, well, you miss a bit of that leadership. So I'm not sure about Maignan. That being said, he's a good goalkeeper. 30 years, he still has 10 years in front of him. So I'm not against, I'm not for, but I tell you, to me, I think it's really more a page filler than a real sustainable big huge name at the moment. I believe really that the Chelsea agreement is already done with Maignan. Anyway, we go towards what is extremely important, and that's where I say, oh, Juve, that's the priority. That's really the priority before all the other names. It's Kenan Yildiz that is on the front page of Tuttosport. Yildiz, Juve, fai in fretta is actually the advice of Pasqualin, that was the historical manager of Alex Del Piero. In Italian, it means, Juve, please rush, please accelerate, find an agreement with Yildiz for that contract extension, because he is the name, he is the man. Yes, of course, if we go back to the story of Del Piero, we can also say that Del Piero didn't find immediately an agreement with Juve. They waited actually 4 years to give him that extension that at the end they found, and he became actually the first player to go at double digit in terms of money. You can compare it with 5 million euro now. Back then it was 10 billion lira, which is it was a lot because he was the highest paid player back then in time. But they said you need to be fast, and I totally agree with that. Now I don't believe in the voices that are saying that Kenan Yildiz is discussing for 500k, a bit more, a bit less, and that Juventus doesn't want really to go. No, I don't know what is the problem. I know one thing: Fabrizio Romano and Matteo Moretto are confirming the player wants to stay at Juve. They want to continue with him. Now, of course, going from 1.5 to 5 million euro is one thing. Going from 1.5 to 7-8 million euro is another thing. I don't believe that going to 5 or going to 7 will make a difference to actually push back the other contenders, the other clubs that want to go for him. Because if Arsenal, if Chelsea are serious and they really want the player, or Barcelona or whatever, they go with 10 million euro, they go with 11, they go with 12 million euro salary for the player, and we are speaking about net money. So 5 or 7 doesn't really make the difference to actually push back the other ones, but it gives you a sign of trust towards the player. I say one thing: I don't care how much you need to give him, between 5, 6, 7, but give him, make him happy, because not only is your most creative player, he's the one that is giving the most emotions, but he's also the example, the one that is wearing the number 10. He's the player that is already having put twice the captain band during the games, and he will become the future capitano. There is absolutely no doubt. Go fast, but also to Yildiz, go towards Juve. You are 20. You will earn even more money in the future. Listen to me, Kenan. Between 5 and 6 million euro, there is not a lot of difference. Listen to me, there is not a lot of difference. Of course, if you give me 1 million, I take them. Anyway, if we are speaking about Weston McKENNIE that yesterday finished on social media for a simple reason, because Nicolo Schira, that today at 12 p.m. Italian time I had over the line, tweeted that McKENNIE is already ready to leave Juventus. Two MLS clubs already shown interest in Weston McKENNIE. Of course, a lot of people will say, okay, at the end of the year, he has no contract anymore with Juve because he will also, like Maignan, being out of contract. Of course, he's ready to leave Juve. No, because Nicolas Kira told me that it could also already be in the month of January. For what reason? Because in MLS, it's different, the Mercato, than in Europe, because the big, huge Mercato of MLS, well, they're targeting to do it in the winter because the season start is in a different period. So Juve could potentially cash in a bit of money if he goes to MLS. If a few seasons ago, even last season, he was closing to go back immediately to MLS because Weston is only 27, he's still a young player, well, he's a bit more open to why not going back, also because he knows that the offers from big, huge European clubs are not really present. So it could be believed. Now, my big question is to you guys, and let me know in the comment section, for 5 million euro, because of course it's a player that will go out of contract at the end of the year, for 5 million euro, would you sell Weston McKENNIE? Because I know he's maybe not your ideal starter, but he's a player that can play in our midfield where we are missing already one player already today, because we didn't replace with numbers Douglas Luiz. For 5 million, would you risk it to miss a player that wherever you put him on the field, that is as a right wing back, as a left back, wherever, as an offensive midfielder, wherever you put him on the field, he's actually giving generosity? I don't know if for 5 minutes I would do that. Because, of course, if you tell me, Beppe, there are already 2 players waiting in January that are, just go, Bernardo Silva and Boadi from Lille. You reinforce with 2 players, different characteristics, different experience, etc. I will tell you why not. But these players, they need to be there the day before Weston McKENNIE is leaving, just to be sure that you are not missing anything. Otherwise, according to me, it makes totally no sense. It scares me. Other players that are also running out of contract on top of Weston McKENNIE, we know it is Dusan Vlahovic, it is Filip Kostic, Rugani, and Pinsoglio, the other players that are potentially on that exit list. For the name of Ottolini, that I saw a lot of people making already videos, etc., we spoke about it yesterday, if I'm not wrong, is favorite if we go for an Italian name, but if not, there are other candidates, like for example the sporting director of Sporting CP, the Portuguese club. His name is Bernardo Palmero. Pay attention to that name if we don't go for an Italian sporting director. Things are moving if Darren Burgess, the new physical trainer of Juve, can we call him like that? I don't remember the exact title, is not yet physically at Juve, where you're already starting to make some moves because he changed the nutritionist, the one that is taking care of the food, etc., the way that they are eating, and they changed and they went for Laura Mancin, 33 years with a lot of experience already in the back and some studies traveling between USA, Italy, and UK. Beautiful sign. That means that we are really taking care of things in every single aspect of the club. So I love that. Ragazzi, that was it for today's video. It's international break. Speaking about the field at the moment makes no sense because there is nobody on the field. Also because the remaining ones of La Cantinasa, they received 4 days off, which makes totally sense because, again, it's not that we have a lot of players at disposal to work on. If you enjoyed, put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.